Good afternoon, Steel City. Welcome to the Yinzer Report on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Today, a rescheduled show, our 62nd edition, live back in the original podcast room of the Black and Gold Paraphernalia. On this afternoon's show, the Robert Morris Colonials, the Horizon League regular season champions, gained the 15th seed in the 2025 NCAA tournament. They draw 2 seed Alabama, the first round matchup, playing nearby Moon Township and PA. They give us our hashtag grit, but come up short of valiant effort in the return to the NCAA tournament. The Pittsburgh Penguins, who your host here owes an apology, are on some kind of run, vaulting the Penguins back into the NHL playoff race. I did say on prior shows there would be no playoffs in the Berg for the Pens. Well, now there might be. Apologies to the Pittsburgh Penguins. Let's go Pens. The Pittsburgh Pirates, getting ever so close to the 2025 opening day of this season, are getting close to naming their replacement first baseman due to an injury, and some bad news surfaced this week on one of our Buccos starting pitchers. His name, Jared Jones. It's going to be a slick deck on the Pirate ship if Jared Jones is not going to be pitching. Let's go Pirates. Well, Aaron Rodgers has emerged and actually visited Pittsburgh yesterday. Did he visit the Steelers after being called out? Pittsburgh Steelers had him there for a visit, but he did leave the building without signing a contract. The saga goes on, and who will be our starting quarterback for 2025? Also, I have some free agent signings I will go over that the Steelers completed this week. Hashtag here we go. I will start today's show off with our tremendous sponsors, IE Sports Radio, sponsors Vital, along with the amazing Planet Jerky Premium Beef Jerky, the jerkiest on the planet. Seal the deal, wax stamps. You bring the deal, we'll bring the seal. Plus, IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all of the sports and why we are on the air doing the Yinzer Report. Steel City, please come join me in my 62nd episode, 41st live on StreamYard. This is the Yinzer Report on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Let's go!
IE Sports Radio fans, this show is brought to you by Planet Jerky Premium Brisket Beef Jerky. Planet Jerky is the official jerky of the 2022 California League champion Lake Elsinore Storm, Single A affiliate of the San Diego Padres. This all brisket jerky has gluten-free options, contains no MSG, no sodium nitrate, is low in sugar, and high in protein. Go to their website at planetjerky.net and follow them on Instagram at Planet Jerky. Planet Jerky, the jerky that's on a whole other planet.
Rise and shine. It's 4 a.m. The stars are still out. The sun is beneath the horizon, but it's time to punch in and go to work. The comfort of your warm-ups turns into the grinding out of your reps as the clinking and the clanking of the plates create a symphony of euphoria. There's no other feeling like it. Earn it, burn it, and take what's yours. IE Sports Radio has proudly partnered with Vital Apparel, a brand that not only fits great, but also promotes and donates to mental health research. Use our code IESR to get 15% off their comfortable and inspiring gym wear and help them on their amazing journey to support mental health. Go hard, take part in your iron therapy, and be strong. Because when your mental health is as strong as you are, there's no telling how far you'll go.
Hey there, IE Sports Radio fans. Be sure to check out our sponsor, Seal the Deal Wax Seals by Cecilia B. You just finished your very own wedding or baby shower invitations and you're looking for that extra special touch? Maybe you just wrote a letter to a relative or a friend and you want to add to their smile when they receive it. Then seal the deal with Cecilia's handmade sealing wax stamps for your invitations, letters, and gifts. You bring the deal, we'll bring the seal. You can find them on Instagram at sealthedeal_wax stamps and on Facebook, Seal the Deal Wax Seals.
Well, good afternoon, everybody. This is Ralph Calise, your host for the Yinzer Report on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. I'd like to welcome everyone to my rescheduled show that was for today. I thank all the personnel at IE Sports Radio for getting this done for me. I did not have the show last night. I had a very busy week in my life, and it started out at the beginning with some personal matters, and then it went on to March Madness at a friend's tournament party in Pennsylvania, actually. And then I trekked on home, and I was gifted with you all know I'm retired. I was gifted with a retirement gift from a friend of mine. And we were at Madison Square Garden last night watching a concert that involved a rock band named Disturbed, 3 Days Grace, and Seven Dust. And let me just say, I am not completely over it. I am still in a fog over it. It was just a great concert. But I am here to give you the Pittsburgh sports news, holding up my end of the bargain for the Yinzer Report. And hopefully everybody joins in and we have a good time today. As you heard our sponsors before, the first three, we do have a new one. And that is Raw Nutrition Supplements. Get Raw Nutrition. You can get them at getrawnutrition.com, and you can use our promo code IESR for 10% off. So look into that. And as always on the Yinzer Report, I do ask you, please look into our sponsors and never discount the messages and listen to them. My colleagues here do a great job promoting them, and they are very, very vital to the radio station. Like the Vital Apparel is very vital to a lot of people out there. Once again, I'm your host, Ralph Calise, as everybody knows. I am the 24th member of the IE Sports Radio Hall of Fame, by the way. I just figured I'd throw that out there. And I do believe I am the only one in the Hall of Fame. I guess the IE Sports Radio personnel can look this up because I was thinking about this last week. I believe I am the only member in the Hall of Fame to be entered without ever doing a show. I never did a podcast, and I got into the IE Sports Radio Hall of Fame with Larry B just doing shows on his 8 days and divisions with the football. So I'm pretty proud of that fact, and I thank Larry B for that. But anyway, back to me. My contacts are on on X Twitter there. You can the show's contact is at the Yinzer Report _IE, and mine is at Calise R786. And just one other thing to throw out there before we start the show. We are now running a supporters club for IE Sports Radio. This one on the bottom there is my supporters club for the Yinzer report. And what this is what this does if you have, and I know times are hard out there today, if you have $5 you would like to throw out there every month for your host, Ralph Calise, and the Yinzer report, just to help out with supporting me as well as supporting the background and supporting the radio station, of course, as we try our best to get sports out there in the world. And we are doing that. We are moving fast and forward towards that. There are other shows on IE Sports Radio, different cities, different types of sports. We do have a wrestling show. We have a sports perspectives couple show with Larry B and his wife, Cecilia B, which is a very interesting show. And there are all different kinds of shows to your likings out there. And we ask you just to support us and help us out along, help out your favorite show hosts like me, as mine is running on the bottom there. And enough gab about that. Let's get into why we are here. And our first segment is going to be on the Pittsburgh Penguins. Now, your host, Ralph Calise here, has made this mistake once before, as I went back and thought about it. But for the past several weeks, I've been saying the Penguins are completely out of the playoffs. They're not going to make it. They were sellers at the trade deadline and all that, which they did do some selling at the deadline. But let's get into this because they are now on some run where they have vaulted themselves back into the playoff race. And I have a lot to go over what's happened in a little over a week. I did put some stuff in there from last week with some of the games. So the Pittsburgh Penguins now are 29 wins, 32 losses, 10 OT losses, which they gained a point in. And they are now at 68 points, and they are 7th in the Metro Division. They are 18-14-5 at home, 11-18-5 on the road. I did look up their postseason chance at the beginning of the week, and it said it was less than 1%. But guys, they are only 6 points out of the last playoff spot. I mean, they have to jump 5 teams, but they are on some run to get themselves back into this playoff race. They're 14th place in the Eastern Division standings. That's the standings that they put up for the conference for the playoffs. So they're actually 14th, but they're only 6 points, like I said, the last playoff spot. It doesn't seem like anybody in the Eastern Conference wants that last playoff spot with all these teams vying for it. Like I said, 5 teams ahead of them. Are they going to make the playoffs? I don't know. We're going to find that out towards the end of the season here. And their last 6 games, they are 5-1 with a win last night versus Columbus. They won 6-3. Now, as I was mentioning these games last week, I said that a lot of the games were just producing, good hockey with the good players that they have. They have a lot of players that are future Hall of Famers, and they were all producing milestones and records and what have you not. So let's get into it. We'll start off. Last week, it was against Minnesota, and they had a 3-1 win. Crosby had 2 goals. Jarry, 30 saves, and they beat their old friend Marc-Andre Fleury. And I mentioned this last week. This was Mike Sullivan's 400th career win. He becomes the first American-born NHL coach to do that with one franchise. After that game is when the Penguins started a 5-game homestand versus the Vegas Knights, who I believe are at the top of the division in the Western Conference, and they wound up winning that game 3-2 in OT. It was the first game of the homestand at the PPG Paints Arena. Erik Karlsson scored 49 seconds into the OT to give the Penguins a second straight win. Crosby scored twice and has scored 5 goals his last 5 games. Jarry again was in net, and he had 35 saves in his first home start in nearly 2 months. Remember, Tristan Jarry was sent to the minors to get himself straightened out because he was off to such a bad start. But he's come back, and he's really vaulted the Penguins in this playoff race. A note on Jarry: despite the late goal, Jarry was excellent for most of the night. If he can build momentum down the stretch, it could either make him a more palatable trade target this summer, or perhaps even revitalize his career in Pittsburgh. Like I said, he was thrown down into the minors earlier in the season to get things right because he was off to a terrible start. He was excellent all night, including a series of saves midway through the third period that had that crowd that he had the crowd all pumped up, cheering and going nuts, waving their Penguin towels. I don't know if you've ever been to a Penguin game. Yes, they do have terrible towels at the Penguin games. And they booed him. That's how bad he was playing at the beginning of the year, the crowd that booed him frequently earlier in the year, and they started cheering his name. And a note on Crosby, he was the 7th player in NHL history to reach 70 points in 15 seasons. Man, Crosby's been around a long time. All right, into the Blues. They next game versus the Blues, the second game of homestand. They won 5-3. So now this is their 3rd win in a row. As you can see now, here comes the push. 3 wins in a row in hockey is a lot. That's 6 points right off the bat. Ryan Gray's first goal of the season, 2:17 into the game, leads the Penguins, which never trailed to victory over the Blues. Connor Dewar, acquired in a trade with Toronto, scored a goal and became the 27th player to score this season for the Pens. That is the most in the NHL. Jari, again, in net, 33 saves, 3 wins in a row. And the Penguins are 5-0 all-time versus the Blues at the PPG Paints Arena in Pittsburgh. We'll continue on during the week. The next game was versus the New Jersey Devils, 3rd game of the homestand, and they put up a 7-3 win, their 4th straight win. Ricard Raquel scored his team-leading 31st goal. Newly acquired Connor Dewar scored again. That's twice. He scored twice. That's 3 goals in 2 games. As a Penguins player, and the Penguins snapped a 6-game home losing streak versus the Devils, dating back to October 2021. Jari was in net again, 27 wins, his 4th in a row, and the Penguins matched their highest goal scored this year with 7 goals. Next was the New York Islanders, and this was a tough loss. They lost this game versus the Islanders 4-2. It was the 4th game of the homestand. Remember, they have it was a 5-game homestand. It snaps the win streak. Snaps the 4-game win streak. They were leading 2-0. First goal of his NHL career was Una Kapanen. And this is a stat I've been following all year when I first started. Now, he becomes the 28th player to score a goal for the Penguins this year, and that is tops in the NHL. So what I'm saying is they have 28 players who have scored a goal this season, and that's the most of any team in the NHL. Along with Crosby's 24th wasn't good enough, as the Penguins gave up 4 unanswered goals in the 3rd period and lose a crucial game as they trek back into the playoff hunt and stop that 4-game winning streak. Jari was solid in that, stopping 34 shots, and Crosby now has a 5-game, 8-point game streak, 24 goals, 50 assists. And there was a little note about him. He will play a maximum of 80 games this year, and he is 6 points from guaranteeing that he will average at least a point per game for a 20th consecutive season. It only compares to Wayne Gretzky, who managed it prior 19 times. So right now he was tied with Gretzky with that stat. That is unbelievable. Like I said, they were trying for a 5-game winning streak. Instead, they lost, and they fell to 5-4-1 in their last 10 games. But they had that 4-game winning streak, so that was 8 points that they really needed. They did have several chances to score late in the minute of the first period. Sorokin on the Islanders made saves on shots by Ricard Raquel and Timmins before Crosby scored to give him his 1,670 point for his career. And he moved past Wayne Gretzky for the 4th most points with one franchise in NHL history. So there it is. He went past Gretzky. Also with an assist, this was versus the Devils, getting back to that Crosby and Gretzky trait there. He tied Gretzky with the assist for the 4th most points with a single franchise. Crosby also recorded his 50th assist season, equaling Adam Oates for 8th in the NHL history. He has 10 points he has points in 10 straight home games versus the Devils, and Jari was in net. And like I said, that was his 4th straight win. Some other notes that we have: they did play. The next game was versus Columbus last night. They wound up winning 6-3. They had, I think, 8 players with points in the game, and they had a guy named, I don't know how to pronounce his first name. I'm going to try it. It was Bigrandi, something like that. I'm not sure how to pronounce. I got to get the pronunciation of his first name, Imana, who scored his first NHL goal. So he becomes the 29th player now to score a goal for the Penguins this year, and that is tops in the NHL. So, back to Sidney Crosby. His legend continues. He surpasses Wayne Gretzky for the most points with a single franchise in NHL history. The Penguins' dynamic duo of Sidney Crosby and Ricard Raquel, teammates that are both in the top 50 of the league scoring in the NHL, and they both combined have 130 points so far. In the 4-game winning streak, we'll get back to Tristan Jarry here. He's been lights out. He's 4-0, 930 save percentage. He's worked his problems out in the NHL. And forward Philippe Tomasino has 10 goals this season, all since joining the Penguins on November 25th. He's 6 game winners by him, and that ties Brian Rust for the lead on the team. So there are some actual great individual player stats there. But how does this work out for the Penguins? Let's just look like, let's say they don't make the playoffs, or even if they do. As we all know, the Penguins have that core of Sidney Crosby, Evgeny Malkin, and Chris Letang. And I guess you could throw Brian Rust in there because he's been there the past 3 years. And they were not traded at the trading deadline. So I'm guessing that, I'm saying that Kyle Dubas is probably going to build the team around these 4 guys, because I saw something and I looked it up. I actually had some time to look it up while I was away. And for the Pittsburgh Penguins' future, the outlook after this crazy run to put them in the playoffs, if they could reshape with their future, with new names, with 30 draft picks coming up. I found this amazing. They actually have 30 draft picks coming up in the next 3 years. Now, Kyle Dubas, who is the general manager of hockey of operations out there, already has young players skating with and around the Penguins core that I just mentioned. Icons, as we call them, as players see them. They probably see them as icons, Crosby, Malkin, Letang, and it starts with the 2025 NHL draft with 11 picks. So this draft coming up this year, they have 2 first-round picks, they have a second-round pick, they have 3 third-round picks, a 14th-round pick, and 2 fifth-round picks. Then they have 1 each in the 6th and 7th rounds, and all in part, the next 3 NHL drafts will produce 4 first-round picks, plus 18 others in the first 3 rounds. And in my opinion, this is a very nice outlook for the team. And it really is, because, like I said, this team's come out of nowhere. And with all these young players, if they could shape out to be NHL players, and you have Crosby for another 3 to 5 years, if that many, hey, the Penguins are on a rise. We'll give them the arrows up right now. And I will not say they're not going to make the playoffs ever again, even if they are like 30 points out of the playoffs, because this is the second time I did this, and the second time they've charged back to get into the playoff run. All right, so it's that time of the show where I have renamed this segment my Yinzer chatter. That is the chat with all the comments out there from my loyal viewers and my fans. So let's hit that. And once again, this is the Yinzer chatter chat. And here we go. First one off the bat. Larry B., my boss. What's up, buddy? How are you, sir? Thanks for joining in. He says, he just puts my name up there, Ralph Calise. I love you, Larry. You're the best, bro. Next is my nephew, Danny, man. Hey, Ralph, have a great show. Danny, thank you very much. And he comes back. He goes, how was the concert? Well, I don't know if you can see that's why I have a hat on. If you can see my face, man, oh my God, I'm still recovering. Let's put it that way. I'm going to talk a little bit about it at the end of the show. This is the Bold North Breakdown. Have a great show. Thank you for joining in. Larry's got breaking Penn State news. Oh, okay, Larry. I did not see any of that before I came on. Let's see what he says. He's got the news there for us, and thank you for this. Penn State Wrestling just won their 13th national championship in program history. Nice. There you go. That's what I was talking about at the beginning. You see, IE Sports Radio is out there putting different sports out there. Here's Larry B., my boss, coming on my show telling me, giving me the heads up about Penn State Wrestling. That is awesome, Larry. Thank you very much for that. Appreciate that, by the way, too. And there he is again. Larry B. is back. He goes, really? Oh, he's commented about the concert. You know what? I was going to talk about it at the end of the show. He really likes Seven Dust. Disturbed was cool. 3 Days Grace. But it sounds like fun. Larry, let me tell you something. I've been to many rock concerts, and with the friend that I've been with last night, and we went to see Disturbed because that's the concert is its 25-year. They're at 25 years in existence, so it was a 25-year anniversary concert tour that they're doing. And let me tell you something. They're better now than they were when they first started. Because we went to a concert when they first started. They opened up for a band named Godsmack. I don't know if anybody out there knows that name of that band. And the crowd was dead. They were like, who are these guys? What are we doing here? And let me tell you something. They've come a long way in 25 years. And I tell you, I'll put it up there in one of the top 3 concerts I've ever been to last night. It was great. It was great. It was great. 3 Days Grace. They were awesome. They started chanting 3 Days Grace, 3 days, and that was the chant all night while they were singing. It was just insane. It was just insane. But anyway, 4 straight years for the Nittany Lions. Yes, okay. I'm going to look into that, and thank you for that. And there is my nephew, Danny Mann. I may have to use that raw nutrition. Yeah. Hey, man. I see you working out. I see your Instagram post, man. You're a solid rock, kid. Go for it, man. Go for it. I know my boss Larry B. He's into that too. So, yeah, you could, if you want, I could hook you up with him, and he could tell you more about it. And here is Terran Rodriguez. Good afternoon, Terran. He says, "Good afternoon, Ralph. Hope you're having an amazing show." Yeah, I'm having fun, even though I'm halfway through it already. There is Mary Shea. Have a wonderful show. I believe she just came to the house. She might be downstairs. She's staying as a guest this weekend. Thank you, Mary. And Terran Rodriguez, chime change nearly tripped me up. Yeah, I had a rough week. Well, at the start of the week was rough, but the end of the week turned out to be really great. And I asked, I didn't want to miss a show, so I asked Larry in the beginning of the week if I could do it today, and he of course he obliged with open arms, and it was set up all this morning for me. So thank you to everybody who was involved to get the show on the air. I don't like missing shows, although in a couple of weeks I may have to miss one, but we'll see how that goes. We're still a couple of weeks away from that. And the chat is buzzing. Wow, here we go again. Anthony Calise, 3 Days Grace, one of my favorite rock bands. Oh, my God, my son, he wanted to come last night, but he couldn't make it. Get me through all my workouts. And, hey, there's Raymond Mann. Hey, Ralph, let's go. He was actually at the party with me in Pennsylvania for the NCAA college tournaments. Yeah, we were out there. We hit a couple of bets. We had a great time. It was a great time. And there is my son, Yinzer, let's go, best podcast. You're the best, kid. All right, let me take a break. That was a great chat. Great chat there, guys. Thank you for everybody joining in. Let me take a break, and when I get back, we're going to get into the Robert Morris Colonials, who lost their game last night. It was just a great game, but I actually got to watch it before I went to the concert. But we'll get into that, and we'll get into some Pirate news, and then we got the appearance of Aaron Rodgers. He showed up in Pittsburgh. Wait till you hear this story. All right, so let me get to some of my colleagues that you just check out, listen to their They're drops. We call them drops. And what I'm going to do is something new here on the Yinzer Report, which I never did. I have a drop that other guys play on my show. I just want to send it out there for you guys so you hear it. And the time is wrong because I started on Tuesdays, but I just want you to hear the drop, and maybe you guys could just comment on what you think about it. All right, so let me just get this off the air here. And I'm going to take a break, like I said. All right, there goes that. And let's get to this. All right, guys, I'll be back. This is Ralph Calise, your host, the Yinzer Report, IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all out of sports. We will be right back after these drops.
What's up, New York? This is Ricky K coming at you at the NY State of Sports, a new show here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Listen to me every Thursday afternoon as we bring you the latest takes on the Yankees, Mets, Jets, Giants, Knicks, Nets, Rangers, Devils, and Islanders. Plus, you get some college hoops and what's the local sports events going on in the area. It's a state that never sleeps, so why not get the opinions and sports takes that never sleep? Again, every Thursday, 2 p.m. to the NY State of Sports. We'll see you then.
For the last 10 years, IE Sports Radio has been bringing you amazing content ranging from interviewing legendary athletes, coaches, and other authorized media personnel to building tailor-made shows dedicated to all major sports cities around the country. Make sure to follow us at IE Sports Radio on X, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube to keep up with the latest in sports and with all of our shows. Also, make sure to check out our daily updated website at iesportsradio.com. At iesportsradio.com, you can see our daily show schedule and check out all of our show pages with personal bios to learn a little bit more about each of our awesome hosts. In addition to our show pages, you can catch the IE Sports Radio blog, Hall of Fame, Fans of the Month page, and our merchandise shop, including t-shirts, tank tops, caps, long sleeves, hoodies, and more. For now over a decade here at IE Sports Radio, we've continued to be by the fans, for the fans, and we thank you all for your support and for making IE Sports Radio your direct feed for all that is sports.
Hello, ladies and sinners. Hello, sports fans around the world. Hello, IE Sports family. This is Cale Henderson, the host of IE Vegas, the Sin City Sports Show, presented by IE Sports Radio. If you folks are interested in sports in the Vegas area, if you're wanting to have a blast for 1 hour, every Tuesday night from 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time to 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, this is a show built for the Vegas sports fans, where we feature the Las Vegas Raiders, the Las Vegas Golden Knights, the Las Vegas Aces, and the University of Las Vegas, Nevada Rebels. Hopefully, fingers crossed, MLB team coming soon. Either way, if you folks are looking to have a blast for 1 hour each and every week, tune in Tuesday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time to 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. If you folks are interested in Vegas sports news, go to our Twitter, at SinCities_IESR, and you can speak with me, the host. Cale Henderson, at Cale_Henderson on Twitter. At any time, be happy to reply. Always want to reach out to our fans. Again, the Sin City Sports Show, presented by IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
All right, welcome back. This is the Yinzer Report on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. I know I said I was going to play my drop, but I have to get it up. I have to program it onto the show. It's basically what you hear at the beginning, and it's just me talking, saying to tune into the Yinzer Report and the time and the day and Pittsburgh sports and all that. So let's get back to the show, and we're going to go into the Robert Morris Colonials, who played their there it is. Okay, so the Robert Morris Colonials season is over. There are great signs ahead for our Moon Township college team, basketball team, #Grit Colonials. So what had happened was last Sunday the brackets came out, and RMU was announced as a 15 seed. I predicted them to be like 12 to 14. But they caught a 15 seed, and that normally means you play a second seed team. And boy, did they draw a second seed team. They drew Alabama, who made the Final Four last year. And they have a player named Mark Sears, who was just amazing, amazing college basketball player. But so it was their first NCAA tournament game. It was their first round game of the 2025 NCAA tournament in the East region, round of 64, and they did wind up losing 90-81 to Alabama. But the second seed Crimson Tide, they went on to survive the 15 seed Colonials 90-81. And just keep that word survive in mind, because while I go through this, you'll see why. To advance to the NCAA tournament round of 32, that's Alabama. The Colonials went to toe-to-toe with Alabama for a large portion of the game, and even led by 1 point with just over 6 minutes to go in the second half. It was amazing. They were down 12 early. They had to get the rust out of their systems. But, man, they came back, and they were all over the court. They were up by 1. It was amazing. I actually jumped out of my chair in my house here. Like I said, I watched the game before I went to the concert. That's how involved I got with this team. With just over 6 minutes to go to say, however, Alabama locked in, took over late to put the game away. There were also numerous amounts of foul called on Robert Morris, as Alabama was in the bonus. They were in the bonus shooting two foul shots. Right after they took the lead. This is when they were at their the bonus, 10 plus fouls at that point, and they were shooting free throws for the last 6 minutes, Alabama. So now the game actually was in Cleveland. The tournament game was in Cleveland, which is about 100 to 125 miles from Moon Township in Pittsburgh. So, and it was being played in Cleveland. And I don't know, there was a lot of fans there, so they made the trip. So it was kind of like a semi-home game for them. They do have a kid on the team named Marion Dixon, and he is from Cleveland. Where do you see what this kid did? So they played in Cleveland, like it was in Cleveland, the hometown. It was the hometown of Marion Dixon. Dixon, my God, showed up. The Colonials averaging 4.5 blocks per game, which is 42nd in the country, was led by Dickinson with 3 blocks in the game versus Alabama. And yet that was far from his most impressive stats. He obliterated the Crimson Tide down low with 25 points, 9 rebounds, 6 offensive, 3 steals. He shot 10 of 14 for the game. Dickinson was so impressive that he gained accolades from the Alabama coach Nate Oates, saying, just a player willing to lead a team to win. All over the court, we didn't have an answer for him. Give him all the credit in the world. He said that's a hard-playing, athletic guy that he gave everything he had. And I'll say he sure did. He played his heart out because he played the whole game. He did not come out of the game for a second. That's crazy. College kid in a college game like that. The game did wind up giving great recognition for Dickerson, very well deserved. For Dickerson, I'm sorry, very well deserved. Coach Oates really had praise for Dickerson, and he did have his own impressive star. We're talking about Mark Sears, his All-American guard, who had 22 points, scored 19 in the second half, and showed some professional intangibles on how to lead a team to victory, not how to lose a game in this tournament. Ball handling, scoring, free throws, and just pure leadership on the court. You could see Mark Sears, if anybody see the game on the highlights, you could just see this guy just running the team. He was actually like a coach out there, but he was doing everything. And they needed it, When they got down one, my God, the place was going nuts. His quotes after the game was, I kept playing the right way, and the game repaid me back. That is a great comment. Think about that. I kept playing the right way, and the game repaid me back. It just goes to show you the love for basketball this kid must have. Hope to see this guy in the NBA next year. He also tallied 5 rebounds, 10 assists, and he's on his way to leading Alabama back to a possible Final Four run. I mentioned they made it last year. But back to our Colonials, coming in as a 22.5-point underdog, spending most of the time, most of the afternoon, about to author the first true bracket buster of the tournament. Cam Woods, though, was completely shut down. Remember, Cam Woods was the player of the Horizon League tournament, and he was the leading scorer for the RMU, Robert Morris University. Alabama had a game plan for him because he shot 2 of 17, and you could just see them swarming not to let him be the guy. It worked out. Like I said, Alabama survived RMU, and now their season is over. But as we've been reporting the past several weeks, the Colonials have found their footing, their 5th season in the Horizon League under Coach O'Toole, who called his team the best team in Colonial history. He told his team after the game, he said it with some real emotion, and the players listened intently as they were showing their emotions in the locker room. And man, it was a gallant effort, a dream season for RMU. Played Alabama even, who, remember, Alabama did reach a second ranking in the NCAA polls this year. And for 35 minutes, played their butts off, as usual, fought, #grit, as is their hashtag, did not back down, entertained us. All kudos go to Andy O'Toole, our coach, all the players, and the best season ever in Robert Morris University history. Like I said, people, I went out there, the Yinzer report, and I latched onto this team to try to find a winning team to report on, and they were the team. They were the team, and hey, it was a great run. It was a great run. They got the Horizon League championship under their belts, and hopefully Andy O'Toole stays as coach, because now he's probably going to be mentioned out there as a hot commodity for a head coach for some of the bigger schools now, and hopefully he sticks on and he hangs in there with us. All right, so that's that for Robert Morris University Colonials. Let's hope that you guys enjoyed the reporting on that. We'll take a quick look back at the Yinzer Channer, and we have Miss Patty Mann. That's Ray Mann's wife. She was actually at the party too for the weekend, and she says, "Hey Ralph, had fun at the tournament party. Go Steelers." Thank you, Patty. Thanks for joining in. And we have Brian Fantoni. Good afternoon, Ralph. Good afternoon, Brian. He is the host of our Boston show. And Jen B. Jen B, thanks for your help this morning. Appreciate it. Jen B was part of getting us the show, a big part of getting us the show on the air today. And she says, Ralph, hope you're having a great show. Yes, I am. I'm having a blast. All right, so let's get into the Pirates, and let me find the banner up there. And their season is quickly upcoming, and we will see what happens with the. We'll do the Steelers last. I'll save them for last, and then I'll talk about the concept for a little bit. All right, so the Pirates, their 2025 opening day is coming, as you can see, 5 days. They start out in Miami. We all know who the starting pitcher is going to be. It's going to be Paul Skeens. And what happened last week was manager Derek Shelton called Mr. Skeens into his office, spring training office, over last weekend, and he handed him a celebratory champagne bottle, anointing him the Pittsburgh Pirates opening day starting pitcher. So he confirmed it with the guy in person, and upon receiving the celebratory bottle of champagne, Skeens yelled out while hugging manager Derek Shelton, thanking him. He yelled out, "Let's start off 1-0." Oh my God. This guy, I'll tell you, I fell in love with this guy, reported on him last year. And my favoritism towards this guy is growing and growing day by day. Oh, boy. I have a piece of memorabilia coming from him. Oh, my God. I can't wait to show it to you guys on the air. All right, but the kid's confidence is above and beyond. So this will make Skeens the youngest opening day starter for any MLB team since, weird enough, Miami's Jose Fernandez in 2014. And you remember this kid, Jose Fernandez, he had all the accolades of having a great career, and he unfortunately passed away in a boating accident. That was sad. That was a sad time. All right, so let's talk 2025 Pirates season. Can they compete for the NL Central title? An offense that really has no identity will be tough to gauge throughout the season because you have many players in new positions or vying for that position, which we'll get into later with first base. Their offense and their defense are either one or the other, so the balance will be a work in progress. As far as I'm concerned, Derek Shelton will have to plan this out in a short amount of time. The Pirates' strong point, as we all know, is their pitching staff. They can, in old baseball term, throw the baseball. So, like I mentioned last week, the top three guys, Paul Skeens, Jared Jones, and Mitch Keller, those guys can pitch. So that's what that old term meant in baseball. Those names also, top-ranked pitching prospect Bubba Chandler, Skeens, Jones, and Keller is waiting in the works. So he might turn out to be not like Paul Skeens, but the way Paul Skeens came up later in the year. So keep an eye out on that name, Bubba Chandler. So here's the projected lineup. It came out this week. I don't see anything different that I would change. You're gonna have Tommy Pham in left field. This is the lineup order. Brian Reynolds batting second. O'Neal Cruz batting third. This I don't know about. Joey Bart batting fourth. He's a catcher, but he's got a lot of power. Andrew McCutchen is your DH. Key Brian Hayes at third base. Nick Gonzalez played second. They have Jared Chiriot listed at first base here to start as a projected lineup. But I have some more news on that first base thing as I found out before I came on the air. They have Isaiah Kina-Falefa at shortstop. And, of course, with Spencer Horwich on IL with the wrist to start the season. He's been out for 6 weeks. You'll definitely see this changing throughout the season until there is a balance. But let's just hope it's not too late because they're still trying to figure out who the first baseman is. So like I said, they're down to 5 candidates for first base. And a kid named Nick York has shined in spring training, and he's pulled ahead for the first base job. He actually was told to pack his bags for the next trip, so that's a good sign. And it wasn't the trip back to the minors. It was the next trip, I guess, to go in Florida, because they're playing next week. So that was a good sign. And now here is my I'll give you my early predictions. I think the Pirates are going to go 80-82. That's 80 wins, 82 losses. They're going to have all-stars. They're going to be Paul Skeens, and I think this kid, Joey Bart, who's really getting a chance to shine this spring. And I think the Pirates will name him the Pirates spring training MVP. I think he'll make the all-star team. Breakout player, watch out for Andy Rodriguez. Best rookie, like I just mentioned, Bubba Chandler. And the most outgoing prediction I have is David Bednar, their longtime closer, will not be closing. And their best overall prospect is a Connor Griffin, who they drafted 2 years ago. And now here's the bad news. Jared Jones came up with right elbow discomfort. So one of the big three, he's seeking second options. He's missing his final spring training start. And it's all a risk right now, so they're keeping him out for the rest of spring training, and they're going through tests on his arm. They're not saying that he's out or anything. It's just this is a process on how they try to catch the soreness before it gets worse. But anytime you hear a pitcher with a sore elbow or elbow soreness, missing starts, that's not a good sign. So I'm not going to make any predictions, but I'm just hoping this doesn't turn out to be the worst, because you lose Jared Jones for any amount of time. That's going to be tough. That 80 wins might go down to, I don't know, let's say 72, because he's good for 8 to 10 wins. He's good for 8 to 10 wins. He's a great pitcher, and that'll ruin that'll mess up the big three of Paul Skeens, Mitch Keller, and the Jared Jones aforementioned. And he is they got Bubba Chandler waiting in the wings, but we'll see what happens with the Pirates. So we'll monitor that, and we'll get through that. All right, we're going to take one last break. I'm going to come back. I'm going to do the Steelers. I may go a little over. So IE Sports Radio out there, if there's a problem with letting me go over, just reach out to me and I'll end the show at the proper time. And let me hit this here. All right, so here's a couple more of my colleagues' drops. Check them out. Some of them are really new. I'll give you some. I'm gonna play some new ones, and we'll be back. This is Ralph Calise, host of the Yinzer Report, IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Hello, IE Sports Radio family and other sports families. My name is Alden Kay, and I want to welcome you to the AZ Sports Zone on the IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. If you're a fan of the Valley and the Grand Canyon State like me, then I've got the show for you. Tune in every week, where I will update you and give you the latest news for the Arizona Cardinals, Phoenix Suns, Arizona Diamondbacks, ASU Sun Devils, U of A Wildcats, GCU Antelope, and of course, the NAU Lumberjacks. Again, if you're a Valley sports fan and like all that is desert sports like me, tune in every week here on the IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. We'll see you then.
Hey, yo, what's good, Georgia? It's your boy ACS, and if you love sports from the Peach State as much as I do, then Georgia Sports Central is your one-stop destination for down south sports, courtesy of IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Are you a yellow jacket at heart, or do you bleed the red and black of the Bulldogs? Do you keep it true to Atlanta with Trae Young, Capella, and the boys? Do you rise up with the Dirty Birds on Sundays? Are you excited to see what the future holds for Michael Penix Jr., Bijan, and the rest of the Falcons squad? Do you live at 755 Battery Avenue? Do you rep for Albies, Acuna, and the rest of Braves country? If so, then let's get united every Wednesday for some Braves, Hawks, UGA, Georgia Tech, Atlanta Dream, Falcons, and more on Georgia Sports Central, only on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
The roar of the crowd, the drama and pageantry, the adrenaline rush and decadence of the world of professional wrestling. Join yours truly, the SoCal Saint, for the best pro wrestling podcast going today, the IE Wrestling Show, exclusively on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Join us every Wednesday from 12 p.m. Central Standard Time, 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Once again, every Wednesday, the IE Wrestling Show. It's just too woo!
All right, welcome back. This is Ralph Calise, your host of the Yinzer Report on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. And let's get into some Steelers news, notes. I don't know what you want to call what's going on out there. Quarterback and all that other stuff. So it came out this week that a prominent Steeler player, Cam Hayward, captain on defense, he called out Mr. Aaron Rodgers. And I thought this was great because, you know, everybody knows Aaron Rodgers is out there. He's trying to make a decision on who he's going to play with. Everybody's got him signing with the Steelers. Then they had him signing with the Vikings. He's still looking to go for the Giants, but he actually made a trip to Pittsburgh. But I think this is why. So Cam Hayward, beginning of the week, he called out Aaron Rodgers, and here's what he said. He says, I ain't doing that darkness retreat. That is great, right off the bat. I don't need any of that crap. Either you want to be a Pittsburgh Steeler or you don't. That's simple. That's the pitch. If you want me to recruit, that's my recruiting pitch. Pittsburgh Steelers, if you want to be a part of it, so be it. If you don't, no skin off my back. Cam Hayward, I told my son after I read this, we were talking, and I said, I want to go and get his jersey right now. That's leadership right there. That's how you lead a team. That's how you call people out. That is not done in football these days. This is what I call touchy football these days. You got to get a guy to get out there and start calling players out. You got to start calling players out. And this guy goes and calls out a future first ballot Hall of Famer. You want to play with us or you don't want to play with us? Good riddance. We're going to move on. And this is what Steeler management needed to do. Not Cam Hayward. Steeler management. Oh, this has got me boiling so much. I just love it. I love it. I was going to take this with me to the concert last night and read it to my friend because he's a Steeler fan too. Being that we're all pumped up already, we're going to more pumped up. This is great. This is just great. Kudos to you, Cam Hayward. Kudos to you. So what happens? Aaron Rodgers shows up to camp yesterday. Camp. I got him on the Steelers already. He shows up to the Pittsburgh facility yesterday. So he had a visit, and I will say I think the visit was an important visit because the way he's going now, Aaron Rodgers. He's not just going to jump on a plane to go to Pittsburgh just to show up and talk. Or go get a Primanti Brothers sandwich like I saw mentioned on social media. I was cracking up when I saw that. He was there for a reason yesterday. And whether they talked about signing or contract or whatever, he did. Now, he did wind up leaving the facility with no contract, but that doesn't really mean nothing because Russell Wilson did that last year. He was at the facility, and then 2 days later, he wound up signing. Everybody remembers that midnight thing and everything. He put the post out there. I don't know if Aaron Rodgers is going to do that if he is signing with the Steelers. But a sign yesterday that maybe things did go well, and they're still going to talk and maybe have a contract signing. The Giants are also vying for Aaron Rodgers. And as I played the New York, Ricky Kay's New York State of Sports drop there before, he was out on Twitter today saying because the Giants signed Jameis Winston, so Jameis Winston now I believe moves right up as the Giants quarterback, but are they looking for an elder statesman, an older guy, and Jameis Winston's going to be a backup? So I can't really speak for what's going on out there, but they did cite Jameis Winston, which at my first thought led me to believe that something is going on with Aaron Rodgers in Pittsburgh, because what's going on in Pittsburgh is what I heard is that they're saying is there's a couple of guys on the team, maybe 3, 4, or 5, that want to win now. And they're coming to the end, and one was Cam Hayward. One is definitely TJ Watt. These guys have never won a playoff game, and they're itching to win a playoff game. And if you need a quarterback, and I don't think drafting a quarterback is the right way, you want to make a trade. There's fucking rumors out there they were going to trade for Brock Purdy. Okay, if you want to do that, that's fine. But the guy out there to do that, I believe, for the Steelers, like I mentioned last week, is Aaron Rodgers. What is Aaron Rodgers vying for? Well, you got to think about what he's thinking in his mind, although nobody could think what he thinks in his head. But what is he thinking in his mind? He's 41 years old. He's had a long career. Why do you play the game of football? You play the game of football to win a Super Bowl, to win that trophy. So if he's thinking about playing and he's serious, I don't think there is any other better team to sign with. And it would have to be the Steelers because they're all in the same boat. And like I said, I don't see him just jumping on a plane from where he was on the beach or whatever he was in his his beach gear robe and flying to Pittsburgh just to go there and talk to them. I mean, I heard the meetings with Arthur Smith were really good. They talked a lot. I guess they talked about the offense. And here's another tidbit. The Steelers never miss the Steelers brass, head coach Mike Tomlin and whoever else he takes along with him with the coaches. They never miss a Michigan Pro Day. They missed it yesterday and waited for Aaron Rodgers to come to Pittsburgh. So I don't know if that meant anything, but I look at that as a big sign. Like I've been saying all along, I'm not letting it bother me. If he signs with us, he signs with us, because if he doesn't, it's going to be Mason Rudolph, and they're going to go and draft a quarterback because they're going to have to. But I believe Aaron Rodgers is the right guy. He's what the Steelers need right now. And if he could stay healthy, and like I said with the offense last week that they're going to put around him now, if he could just do what he did last year with the 28 touchdowns, the almost 4,000 yards with our offense, I believe our defense is a lot better than the Jets. It's a match. It's a match, in my opinion. But this guy, he does this all the time. He's been doing this for the past couple of years. That's why you don't let it get you crazy. Just don't let it get crazy. When he's ready to sign and he's going to sign, he's going to sign. And it's just as easy as that. Hey, just be thankful he came to Pittsburgh. That was a big sign right there. Big sign right there. And like I said, I believe them not going to a Michigan Pro Day, because they do have one of that defensive lineman Grant on their radars to draft. I don't think they wanted to miss that. All right, so that's it for the Aaron Rodgers. I guess hey, we'll see what happens. Just let it play out, see what happens. Just real quick now before I end the show, because I see them over. I just wanted to give a couple of free agent signings out there that happened. They signed Daniel Ekulie from to a 1-year contract. He last played for the Patriots, defensive tackle, 7-year veteran. He started all 16 games last year for New England. And I kind of looked up maybe what he would bring to the Steelers, and it will help the D-line with his capability of taking on double teams and holding point of attack. He is a real good push-the-pocket type defensive tackle as a pass rusher. So you can never have enough of them because defensive line is one of the toughest places to play in football. And, whether it's injury or the guy needs a break, I think they exert the most energy of anybody on the defense and the offensive line guys too. They signed Juan Thornhill, safety, 1-year contract. He's in his 8th season coming up in the NFL. I see him as a durable starter. He's played in 84 total games, starting 74. He last played for the Cleveland Browns, starting all 22 games. He also is a 2-time Super Bowl champion. He was drafted and he came in and he was drafted by the Chiefs and he won 2 Super Bowls with the Chiefs. So he brings that mentality of a championship, like I was mentioning with the Steelers. Well, at least win a playoff game. I don't know about a championship. I win a championship. What he brings to the Steelers, athleticism on display, speed, viral jump, versatile positions, can play safety, and also drop down to play the slot when needed. Career 8 INTs, 24 pass breakups, provides valuable depth for the Steelers. He could back up Minka Fitzpatrick on a couple of plays and Deshaun Elliott. But he's mainly replacing DeMonte Casey, who the Steelers did not sign. I don't know if he signed with anybody else. Last I heard, I did not hear that. And then they signed Easy Atemio, another defensive tackle, to a 1-year contract. 3rd NFL season upcoming, so he's young. He's only coming up on his 3rd season. He spent the last 2 seasons with Jacksonville. He was lightly used in his career, and he's appeared in only 9 games, starting 9 tackles, 3 solo tackles, 2 quarterback hits, a half a sack. Probably viewed as a backup, in my opinion, to start. But he is a viable special teams player. So we'll get to see one of those big, but he's big, but we'll see one of those big guys on special teams. So, hey, this was a great show, guys. I had fun. Doing it in the afternoon. And like I said, thank you, IE Sports Radio, for letting me reschedule with my busy week. And, of course, I'll just mention it real quick. If you guys are into rock music and you like the band Disturbed, 3 Days Grace and Seven Dust, like Larry was mentioning at the beginning, he gave me his thoughts on all 3 of those bands. Disturbed is a must-see. This is not the Disturbed of 25 years ago, if you know the band. They're all the same guys, but it was great. He actually brought his son out on the stage, and he like sang a song with him. I don't think the mic was on, but he was just yelling into the microphone, but it matched up perfect with the song he was singing. It was just great. It was a great concert. It was at MSG. How could you go wrong? Madison Square Garden. It was sold out. It was crazy. It was crazy. The smells in the air, you can only imagine. And I'll leave it at that with that. But the concert was great. My week was great. I had a lot of fun this week. And, yeah. So, all right. So that was it. I just wanted to give a little thing there on the concert. That's where I was last night. That's why the show wasn't on. But 3 Days Grace is amazing. They're still good. And Seven Dust is a hard rock band. So if you're not into rock music, you're not going to like them because they're really hard. But they all turned out. So I'll be back at my normal time slot next week, 8 p.m. Friday. I guess baseball season will be underway, so we'll have a couple of Pirate games to talk about. We'll go over Paul Skeens' first start. And, we'll see what happens with this Aaron Rodgers thing. Like I said, I think it's a good thing he was there. I'm glad he came to Pittsburgh, at least to talk to them and let them know what's going on. He didn't sign, but we'll go from that. We'll take it. All right, so everybody enjoy the rest of your weekend. Enjoy your college basketball, your tournament brackets and everything. Hopefully everybody's still doing good with them. And this is Ralph Calise, your host of the Yinzer Report. I want to thank the 155 views that are out there taking in the show. Just remember, we are IE Sports Radio. We are out there. And there's the merch up in the corner there. There's a nice T-shirt that you can get on iesportsradio.com. And all right, so that's it for today. Once again, this is Ralph Calise, host of the Yinzer Report. And we're going to end the show. And like I said, enjoy your day, enjoy your weekend. Thanks for joining in. Sports are Pittsburgh sports are heating up right now. The summer's coming, and we'll be there. We'll be there with the Pirates. We'll be talking Pirates. So once again, thank you, Pittsburgh. Thank you to all the viewers. Thank you to all the comments. Busy chat today, real busy. And I'll see you guys next week. My name is Ralph Calise, the host of your Yinzer Report on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Take care, guys. See you next week.